The god of Universe 14 breaks through the veil and enters a new universe. From this crack, he hits record speed, surprising even his subordinates. But what surprises everyone is the explanation, and that is that this cube runs on the user's life energy, showcasing how powerful the Universe 14 god of destruction actually is. The god of 14 wishes to go directly to the Grand Priest to get his answers, to talk to him. But in order to do that, he must go through a sequence. He cannot just go directly to the palace, he has to go through several other universes, explaining that the universes themselves as we know them, there aren't a twin universe concept. There is a triplet universe concept before the other universes were destroyed. So now with all the universes back, we get a graph of all triplet universes and who is related to which. Each one even has their own code name or vibe, something that separates them. 18, 12, and 1, Supreme, Ultimate, and Prodigious, all united. 2, 11, and the newly resurrected 17, Benevolent, Justice, and Desire are now connected as well. And this explanation goes on and on as all the universes are connected into each other. They are triplets. My favorite one being the last explanation here, with Universe 7 being the Warrior universe and Universe 6 being Challenger, since Beerus and Champa are always fighting and arguing with each other. But this one's interesting. One of the erased ones, Universe 13, is Champion, meaning that this one is the victor from both these universes. It's the strongest one out of the triplets. Each of these universes are connected in a circuit, so to be able to travel between them, you have to go in order, and then you arrive at the center of it all, the Grand Priest's home. Now, this configuration changes often, and to get into the Omni King's home, you need to have the current configuration, which is something that Universe 14's God of Destruction has now since the last chapter. He has to go to Universe 4 first to get through that configuration, and at the end of the third universe, he will travel straight to the Grand Priest's home. And so they arrive in Universe 4 on planet Romazeri, which looks like Rosemary, and they quite literally put out the red carpet. The announcement of Universe 14's God of Destruction is heralded as some grand event, like he was royalty or a celebrity, but nobody knows who he is, and so they are made and forced to kneel. But not everybody does so. This world is home to one of the contenders in the Tournament of Power, and he refuses to kneel in front of this God of Destruction because he is not his God of Destruction. Again, he is asked to stand down and kneel in front of the God of Destruction of Universe 14, but Ganos sees this as a complete and utter farce, since this guy was not around during the Tournament of Power, meaning he is from one of the resurrected universes, meaning that he is his enemy. They are asked a second time to kneel, and they refuse. They are the defenders of Universe 4, and they will bow to no outside force. God 14 sees no other way beyond this and tells his subjects to go ahead and go wild, initiating Ganos to transform into his version of a Super Saiyan, which is like a Super Saiyan chicken, and the battle is on between these mortals and the subordinates of God of Destruction 14. Quintilla feel the darkness, the evil presence, and the God of Destruction key from the intruder, and they think it is one of the resurrected universes, not knowing that this guy was locked away during that entire business. He has no connection to the mother of all angels at this point, and they go and check it out. But unfortunately for the residents of planet Romazeri, there is no getting out of this. They have bit off more than they can chew, and the destruction is on a presence unknown to these mortals. God 14 reassures them that he did not come here to destroy anyone. He came here to warn about his presence, so that way they can tell their God of Destruction that he has come through here. He is here to ensure that people do not side with the wrong team, which he believes is the Grand Priest. He right now is making his way trying to back the Mother of all Angels, and these mortals need to pick the right side. But just before he can make any more trouble, he feels the presence of Quintilla coming straight for him and decides to boogie out of there with the rest of his squad. Narrowly missing them, Quintilla does two things that I really like, and that is he summons his cube, or tries to summon his cube quickly. That way he can chase them, and now we are a high-speed chase through the universe. And the other thing he does is that he tells his angel Cognac to clean up the planet a little bit and make sure the survivors don't remember what just happened. That way the universe doesn't go into terror mode, doesn't go into survival mode, knowing that there is a god of destruction coming at them this early in the game. Both of these things are pretty cool to me because it shows that the gods of destruction are actually actively trying to prevent something or actually do something, which is something that we don't see in Dragon Ball Super too often. But before Quintilla can chase them down, they actually arrive in Universe 10. So I don't know if Quintilla is going to chase them into a separate universe, but this arc with this outside god of destruction is really interesting. But in Universe 11, this is where the real action is happening. Gohan stands there in the middle of the destruction, smoke swirling around him, and he has called the Pride Troopers and Jiren himself to this planet. Evil has scourged across the galaxy, especially in Universe 11, especially since now people think that their lives are going to be ended by some evil gods of destruction. Evildoers are coming out of the woodwork and people are going into rampant chaos, and that is what the Pride Troopers are overstretched trying to prevent. Gohan was sent to a world to try to fix it, to try to stop the evildoers that were on that planet, and he had been there for 3 days before he actually called out to the rest of the Pride Troopers, and he asked for them to come and mobilize there, but specifically for Jiren to follow, Jiren to meet him there in this planet. This is where we find out that not only is Jiren happy that he is one of the Pride Troopers, that Gohan has come so far and joined the team, but we also find out that Gohan actually doesn't kill any of the evildoers that come across his path. He actually just stops them. He basically, I would assume, knocks them out, puts them in jail, locks them up somehow, but basically captures them for the Pride Troopers to do what they do with them. And this is something that even has him going against some orders where he's supposed to destroy some of these evildoers and he does not. Gohan has been on the team for 5 months now. That's 5 months of fighting, 5 months of training, 5 months of being part of a squad, and this is what we get. We get a Gohan that is on a mission. He is ready to hit the next level and he is eager, and we go into a flashback to show us the thought process and why he chose Universe 11. We find this out in a talk between Gohan, Belmod, and Margarita of all things, and this is a talk about Belmod's Supreme Kai sign. It seems that the Supreme Kai of Universe 7 has explained the lore of Supreme Kais to Gohan, and that all Supreme Kais are golden fruit to begin with, and some fruits are bigger than others. If a fruit is really big, that means they have a lot of latent abilities and they're really powerful. Eventually these fruits become Supreme Kais, so now we know how Supreme Kais are born essentially. Gohan has been feeling like he is not fully awakened. When the Supreme Kai awakened all his abilities, there's still something else there, something deep down inside, and this is something that Margarita can sense with her staff right away, that all his powers have not been completely unleashed. And it is because he was having his powers awakened by the Elder Kai, who was less than adequate at this job. Even Margarita thinks so. Gohan's entire intention here to go to Universe 11 was to train his skills and his body with the Pride Troopers, but on top of that, ask wholeheartedly and with spirit if Sai could basically unleash the rest of his latent abilities, and that way he can have the power needed to face off against these angels and gods of destruction. Are we going to see Beast Gohan here? I don't know. This is really getting me excited for the future of Dragon Ball Kakumei. But before Gohan does this, he needs one thing to be clear, one thing to be answered before he gets these powers basically unleashed within him from an outside force. And that is why he's called Jiren here, because he himself wants to face off against the one opponent that his father really couldn't defeat on his own, and that gave him so much trouble, and that is Jiren. If he can face off against Jiren with what he's got so far and the abilities and strength and techniques that have been awakened within him for the last 5 months, then he feels like himself he is worthy to have this Supreme Kai unleash the rest of his latent abilities. And this is something that Jiren sees within him, within his ki, that not only is it so close to his father's ki, but there's something else. And that something else, I'm hoping, is Beast Gohan, because if something that Dragon Ball Kakumei does well is explaining things, and Beast Gohan and Dragon Ball Super Superhero, not very well explained, but in this, when we got even an explanation to how Supreme Kais are born, I believe they are up to the task of explaining and giving some lore-specific reasons why Beast Gohan is a thing, and that is the end of today's chapter.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.